This month I spent about $3,000 on camera gear, specifically for improving my wedding videography. So today I want to go over exactly what I bought and exactly how it's going to help me level up my game. The first few things I unboxed in a TikTok the other day, I got another one of these DR10L. I got a second one of these black ones, and I got one white one for going in a bride's dress. So let's just get into it. I have 3 of these total, and the purpose of them is to record audio from the people during the day, because the mic on my camera isn't necessarily close enough to capture high quality audio of what people are saying. So these are standalone recording units, which means they don't record, it's not wirelessly transmitted anywhere. You just pop a little micro SD card in here and it records the audio straight on here. So you throw a little AAA battery in here and these things can run for like 8 to 10 hours, which is perfect because when the bride and groom are getting ready, you just put in the little micro SD card, you hit record, you toss it in their pocket, and then at the end of the day, you can sync up all the footage with the audio from this, and you can have high quality audio of what they're saying. So if you're standing on the other side of the room and they're talking to each other and you film across the other side of the room and they say something sweet, then you can capture it and put it in the wedding video in high quality. This is also great for the ceremony and reception when they're talking to each other, but they're not necessarily speaking into a microphone. Anyway, so yeah, I have 3 of them. I have 2 black ones and 1 white one. The white one is specifically for the bride, so you can have it underneath the dress, and some dresses have like a little bit of see-throughness to them. So the idea with it being white is that you won't be able to see it. And then the 2 black ones, one is for the groom and the other one is for 2 places. During the ceremony, it goes on the officiant, and then during the reception, it goes wired up to the podium where the people are giving speeches as a backup audio source. That's something that's really important in wedding videography, is backup audio. Now, you need backup everything, right? Backup SD cards, we're gonna get to that. Backup cameras. Basically, you need to be prepared that if something breaks, you can take it in stride and just keep going. But backup audio is super important because audio is finicky and it doesn't always work out. So I have a shotgun mic on my camera that I run all day. That's more scratch audio, which means it's not something I'm probably gonna put in the final video, but it's something that I can use as a reference point for syncing up the higher quality audio. Now, a lot of the audio I wanna capture, the bride and groom will be speaking into a microphone, and for that, I have this guy, the trusty Zoom H4n. Now you take this thing, with an XLR cable or something, plug this into the soundboard that the microphone is going into, and you can capture high quality audio from the microphone. But sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes the audio isn't set properly, it peaks. Sometimes the wireless mic has issues transmitting and you don't capture a clean audio source from the microphone. So that's where the lavs are super handy as well, because then you still captured what they're saying. And then same thing with the speeches. A lot of the time you're talking into a microphone, but if for some reason the microphone has issues and doesn't work, or your recording didn't go, then you have the lav mic to put on the podium to capture a scratch audio, a backup audio of sorts. So right off the bat, you need a lot of audio gear. I haven't actually got the white mic yet. I'm hoping it's in one of these boxes, but yeah, so I ordered a bunch of stuff on Prime Day. Now let's go through it and see what I got. In this small box, we have some SmallRig NPF batteries. So I got 4 of these very large NPF batteries, the F970 size, which is one of the larger sizes. Now, if you don't know, NPF batteries are these very versatile batteries. They can power monitors, lights, cameras. I have a much bigger box right there that will hopefully show what these are going to be used for, but I'll show you this first. This is just, that whole box was for just one of these bad boys. So this is a F970 NPF battery. Look how chunky it is. This is my regular Canon camera battery, and this is the NPF battery. I'm a little disappointed. I ordered 4 of these. I'm a little disappointed that there was only 1 in that package, but there's, one sec. There's this much larger package that I'm hoping has the rest of my stuff in it. Aha. Okay, we've got a bunch of stuff in here. Let's go through it one by one. Firstly, here's the 2 other NPF batteries I ordered. These ones come with a charger. So that's 3 total. I'm still missing 1. And here is the other one. So that's 4 NPF batteries total. Now these are 4 massive batteries. What do I need them for? I'm glad you asked. Because in this box, we have 2 Aperture P60C LED panel lights. These lights are going to be what's lighting my receptions. And here's number 2. And then just, I hate that Amazon did this, just loosely tossed in this box with these extremely heavy lights is actually the most expensive thing in here, which is 4 pro grade SD cards. Now, when you think of an SD card, you maybe think of like a little 64 gig one that's maybe, I don't know, what do you expect to pay? 30 bucks, maybe 40 bucks for one. One of these cards is $300-ish. So let's open this up and talk a little bit about why I would spend this much on SD cards. Okay, so let's look at this closely. This card has a few numbers on it, and those numbers are important. So what do we see? First of all, the capacity, 256 gigabytes. That's the size of this card, which is pretty big. The next thing we see is the read and write, 300 megabytes per second write and 250 megabytes per second read. And down at the bottom, really small here, it says V90. I don't know if you can see that. Is that in focus? There we go. V90 class cards. Let me zoom back out. The fact that this is a large capacity V90 card is the reason this is so expensive. The cards I'm currently shooting on are Lexar 128 gigabyte V60 cards. The difference between V60 and V90 is the speed at which data can be written to the card. Now, why does that matter? Well, it's not just about transferring the files off the camera once you're done. It has to do with the bitrate of the video coming out of the camera. When I'm shooting video, I'm shooting high quality video. It's 4K, 10-bit log footage, recording at 24 and sometimes 60 frames per second. That is a lot of data. When I shoot a wedding, I usually have between 200 and 300 gigabytes of data by the end of the day on one camera. And I bring 2 cameras and a second shooter who also has 2 cameras. So we're looking at easily anywhere from 600 to 1,000 gigabytes of data from like 8 hours of shooting. So these cameras, they need a fast SD card to be able to send all of that data to as it's shooting. If you don't, you run into issues where the camera can just stop recording in the middle of shooting because the SD card has to catch up. This has happened to me a couple times with my Lexar cards, with the V60s, and that is just not something I can afford on a wedding day. So these cards are ridiculously expensive, but they're also 256 gigs. Now, I got 4 of them. Well, like I said, I have 2 cameras. I have this one, my R6 Mark II, and my R6. They both have redundant card recording, which means I can put 2 cards in each camera, and when I take a video, it puts the data on both of those cards simultaneously. SD cards are also not great in terms of reliability, and there's an unfortunate chance that you could record something on an SD card and that SD card could get corrupted and you could lose that data. So by recording to 2 SD cards straight out of the camera, you get an instant backup. Once again, something that on a wedding day where nothing can be reshot is super important. If you're ever wondering why you pay a wedding videographer $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a wedding, it's little things like this, because peace of mind is expensive. By having cards that I know aren't going to stop recording in the middle of a video during the ceremony, and also being able to record to 2 of them, I know that at the end of the day, I have an instant backup if something is to go wrong, and I'm not gonna have any issues with these cards stopping my recording. So in total, I spent $1,300. They were on sale, by the way, too. They were 20% off the SD cards because I got them on Prime Day, but I spent a total of 1,300 Canadian dollars on these 4 SD cards. Moving on to the lights. I'll just open one of these because they are identical. These lights I think are perfect for what I need because I didn't want something that was a large form factor when set up. Now there's more compact lights than this, like the Zhiyun Molis X100. I have one of those right now lighting my face, and I could get a couple more of those and they'd be really small and they'd fit my bag, but they need a large lighting modifier to really effectively light up a whole area with high quality light. And when you're talking about setting it up in the middle of a reception hall, I really want the package to be as small as possible, diffusion and all, because I don't want someone to bump into it or just for it to be in the way in general. Although it's not really the ideal format for everyone, a light panel like this works much better for me because the panel itself is already pretty good in terms of size and quality of light. And then there's also some diffusion that can go in front of the panel on here. And so in what is a fairly small form factor, I can just blast a whole area with light. The other nice thing about this light in particular is it comes with the modifiers that I would need, and it also comes with a little handy carrying case. Now, I think I'll try these out for a couple weddings and see how I feel about the case. What I'll probably end up doing is getting one bigger case that can fit everything I need in it, because otherwise I'm carrying around 2 of these, my camera bag, some light stands. I'd rather just chuck it all in like one larger case. Oh, this is... Okay, so this is our diffusion panel. I didn't realize it folded up like that. So this goes in front of the light and creates that nice diffused look. And now for the light itself. Got all of the cables in here that I might need. And here is the light itself. So here we go, we got the panel, we've got all the dials on the back. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly certain I can use the Aperture has like an app and you can remote control these lights. So that could be cool as well if I need to make some adjustments to the lighting and I'm not standing near them, I might be able to do that. And now you can see right here, these 2 slots are those massive batteries we got. Now, most of the time, I hope that I'll be able to run a power cord to these lights, because battery power is not ideal. As giant as these batteries are, you never know how long they're gonna last. And so when the option's possible, I will usually probably wall power them, but having a light that I can include these little MPF batteries on, slides on there, slides on here. And there we go. With these two batteries on here, I have a very bright light source that will last hopefully for a few hours. I can be outside, I can be in the middle of a reception hall where there's no wall plugs, or I can be at a wedding in a barn. Just throw this guy on a light stand and I'm good to go. Now, this is one of those things where you don't need video lights to do a wedding video. You don't have to light the reception area, but it's one of those things that just sets you apart from a lower tier of wedding video. Because you can pay $1,000–$2,000 for a wedding video and you might get one person showing up with one camera and no lights, and that's totally fine. You can still get a really nice video out of that. But when you're paying those more premium prices for wedding videography, it's kind of expected that the videographer is going to show up with multiple cameras, lights to make things a lot higher quality, because although you can get away with it, having high quality lighting at a venue is so much nicer in terms of how the video turns out. So all of this gear is here because I have a bunch of weddings this season. This is my first season of shooting a full season of weddings, and I want to make sure everything is as high quality and as safely stored as possible. And so if you're ever wondering why wedding videography is so expensive, there's a lot of reasons, but this is one of them. I have to clean up this mess that I've just made because my room is covered in boxes now. So I'm gonna go do that. If you stuck around to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching all the way through. It means a lot to me. Let me know in the comments if you're a wedding videographer, what gear is like your essentials. And if you want to book me for your wedding, link in the description for that too. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.